Remember episode 1? Yeah, one where we tore into the miracle cables and the audiophile grey gadgets. All that shiny nonsense. We called it what it is, snake oil. And if that upset anyone, good. It means you were probably about to buy something. But here's the twist. Sometimes it's not the marketing lying to you. It's your own brain doing the sales pitch. You want to hear improvement, so you do. You expect something magical and your brain delivers it right on cue. That's not foolish or stupid. That's just millennia of human evolution saying, yeah mate, I recognise that pattern. Let's roll with it. So today we're diving into why you can't always trust your ears. And why no two people, even in the same room, ever hear exactly the same thing. I'm Peter Thompson and this is the Audio Lab. Audio truth, no hype, no snake oil. Let's start with this. Hearing is personal and subjective. Like fingerprints, no two are the same. Different ear canals, eardrums, nerve wiring, the 30,000 fibres in your inner ear that turn vibrations into what your brain calls music. None of it's identical from person to person, ear to ear. Then you've got ear health, and that's a whole extra variable. Bit of wax build-up, you've just rolled off your top end. Got a cold, say goodbye to clarity. Spent a full day mixing, congrats, your ears are now 3 dB more useless. It all adds up. What sounds balanced one day might sound completely different the next. Not because your gear changed, but because you did. And I'll be straight with you. I've got a bit of tinnitus, decades of mixing, headsets, loud environments. It all comes with the territory. Some days it's a faint hiss, other days it's gone completely. But it's a reminder that hearing isn't static. It shifts with time, work, life, and how you're feeling. The trick is to know how your hearing behaves. Accept it, work with it, not against it. This is why two people can listen to the same system and describe it totally differently. One says it's warm and rich, the other says it's dull and muddy. Both are right for them. Both are probably broke too, knowing this hobby. You're not hearing an objective truth, you're hearing your own interpretation. Anatomy, experience, even mood, it all shapes what your brain tells you is good. Sometimes the biggest variable in your system is you. Now in broadcast, for me, that's a bit of a problem we can't afford. Every day could be a completely different setup. Different control room, different mixer, different truck, monitoring systems, acoustics. One day you walk into a Calrec Artemis or a Lavo MC56, the next it's a Yamaha or a Digico. Some days you're in a Plus Studio, other days you're in a truck parked on a muddy oval somewhere. And each environment has its own personality. The way the console reacts, the tone of the monitors, the quirks of the space. And also your monitoring. Some days it's Dyne Audio or Genelecs. Other days it's JBLs. They all sound different. And if you start chasing what you think you're hearing instead of what's true, your mix will wander like a lost puppy. The only way to stay consistent from venue to venue, mixer to mixer, is to trust the process, not your emotions. In broadcast, we rely heavily on reference tones, calibrated monitors, strict gain structures, and solid processing gear. All this helps keep things honest. Because if you start chasing perception instead of accuracy, you'll end up with a completely different mix every day. That's the difference between engineering and enthusiasm. And look, I have some favourite gear, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of it's more intuitive and easier to use, and there are differences that you notice, and that's personal preference. But in pro audio, in broadcast, feelings don't pay the bills. Consistency does. And you often don't get the choice of gear. The budget determines that. Now let's talk about how your brain tricks you, the illusions. Number 1, loudness. Louder always sounds better. Even a single dB boost will convince your brain it's cleaner, clearer, and more detailed. That's why when you're doing A/B testing, it's so important to match the levels and be sure that you're monitoring at the same level. Otherwise, you're just comparing the level and not the difference that you're trying to look for. Number 2 is sight and aesthetics. If you can see the shiny valves, the brand logos, the glowing meters, the beautiful case, your brain's already decided it sounds better even before you hit play. And some of those glossy features come at a premium price. Number 3, effort. You've just spent hours rewiring your rack, setting up a new streamer or DAC or something. Your brain needs to believe it sounds better. Otherwise, you've just wasted your Saturday and your sanity. And lastly, here's the big one. You've just dropped some serious cash on a new piece of gear. Your brain is going to make damn sure it sounds good. This is confirmation bias in action, the mental safety net that protects us from buyer's remorse. You convince yourself the soundstage is wider, the bottom end is tighter, the top end is smoother. But the alternative is admitting you've just wasted a stack of cash on a new box and lights. It's human nature. We all fall for it, even the pros. And it's not weakness, it's wiring. The trick is knowing when it's happening and learning to catch yourself in the act. Because sometimes the biggest upgrade you can make isn't a new DAC or cable, it's self-awareness. And if you can close your eyes, do a proper level match, and still hear a difference, fantastic. This is awesome. But if not, your brain probably just sold you another illusion. And that's that time again. If you're enjoying this kind of real-world audio talk, hit subscribe. Not for the hype, but for the honest, no-nonsense discussions. Drop a comment. Tell me about your experience. Things you swore sounded better, things that didn't. And if you don't like what I'm saying, maybe your cables need another 100 hours of burning. The things that do matter and the things that you can change easily. Your room is the biggest piece of hi-fi gear you already own, whether you like it or not. You can spend a lot of money on a new DAC or amp, but if your space is full of hard surfaces, parallel walls or glass, you're fighting physics, you're fighting reflections and standing waves. The room doesn't really change from day to day. It's consistent, but what does change is how that room interacts with your sound depending on what's in it. Open versus closed curtains, hardwood floors, a rug. Even a few people can shift the balance dramatically. Those reflections and resonances shape the listening experience far more than most people realise. The good news is you don't need super expensive acoustic treatment to correct it. Believe me, the science of acoustics at home is not a rabbit hole you want to go down. It can become very expensive very quickly. Simple things like rugs, curtains, bookshelves, even a couch or some cushions all help tame reflections and absorb harshness. You're not trying to build Abbey Road studio, you're just trying to create a space where the sound has room to breathe. The goal is simple, hear more of your music and less of your room. You've got your room treated, now it's speaker placement. Even a few centimetres of angle and distance can change everything dramatically. Pull them a little off the wall, angle them slightly towards your listening spot and give them a bit of breathing space. Suddenly, the stereo image locks in. Instruments sit where they're supposed to, vocals sit up front, and you start to see the mix instead of just hearing it. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. You want the sound stage to pull you in. At that moment, when your favourite track makes you stop whatever you're doing because it just sounds right. That's not a measurement thing, it's a feeling. And finally, your ears, the most important part of your system and the one we all neglect. Your ears change from day to day, even hour to hour. How tired you are, how loud you've been listening, what mood you're in. It all changes how things sound. Sometimes you'll be dialed in and hear every breath and detail. Other times you'll swear the magic's gone. It hasn't. You're just hearing through a different lens. That's why some of the best listening sessions happen when you're relaxed, not analysing, when the gear disappears and the music just lands. That's what hi-fi is all about, finding those moments where the music just hits you emotionally, not technically. And maybe that's the other truth about listening. There are times when you're just listening to your gear, hoping that improvement or change you just made makes a difference. And then there are times when you're deep inside the music, where the gear just disappears completely and you're spending quality time with your favourite tracks. And then there are times when the music is just there, filling the space, setting the mood, and you're really not listening to anything at all. And that's okay. All three bring enjoyment to this hobby, and they all matter. Each connects us back to sound in a different way. So from episode 1's hype to this one, head games. The message hasn't changed. There's marketing that lies to you, and your brain lies for you. The only way to really cut through both is awareness and experience. This is what the Audio Lab is all about. Bringing the mindset of audio engineering into the world of home hi-fi. Understanding the gear, understanding the room, and understanding yourself. Because when you strip all the hype, all that's left is what works. Thanks for watching. I'm Peter Thompson. See you next time. Don't believe the hype, believe what works.